What's up, all you Christmas with the Joker dudes and dudettes? Toy Shiz here, and I got a really quick review for you today. We're totally going to be checking out the brand new Mondo Tease Batman the Animated Series 1/6 scale action figure collectible figure. This is amazing. This is a set that includes both the action figure itself and then also kind of like an add-on. It's got a couple extra accessories and such, but I'm so stoked. I was talking about this back in, like, I think at the beginning of the year, January, February. Finally arrived on my doorstep, and a huge special shout out and a thank you so much. It's an awesome Christmas gift. This is from Mondo. This is for reviews, all that good stuff, but thank you so much for sending this out to me. Cannot wait to take a look at this figure. I've been a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series for years and years, so it's amazing. Look at the packaging on this thing is insane. They're almost like bookends strapped together. Now, this was designed, the packaging is designed by Brent Ash, and it has illustrations from Phantom City Creative, and you can tell it totally stands out. So there's two packages, basically, yellow and black. Yellow contains the figure, the black one contains like the add-ons, and we'll take a look at each, but let's go ahead. We're going to start with the actual figure, so it'd be just the standard figure, of course, and it's really cool. It's got this really nice illustrative thing of Batman from the animated series, and it opens up with like a Velcro kind of opening, and it's just full on. You see the figure, you see all the accessories that come with this thing. It's insane. It's so cool. And then I love this on the side right here. Reports of a huge bat creature the size of a man. Remind you of anybody? And then, of course, yeah, Batman. So what we're going to do, we're going to close them up, and we're going to take a look at this figure. And here is the Mondo Deluxe Exclusive Edition Batman the Animated Series figure out of the packaging. And now this, of course, is the standard version. This is what you would get if you just ordered the figure by itself and didn't get the extra add-ons. So look at all the accessories that you get. You get a stand, and you get a ton of episode-specific exclusives, hands, heads, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to take a look at each individual one, but I have to say I'm pretty impressed. And you get a 1/6 scale action figure. You really can't go wrong with this set. And you get 3 heads just with the initial figure by itself. Now, the first head, of course, is more of a smirking Batman. It goes along with a couple episodes here and there, especially with Be a Clown and such, which we'll talk about in just a second. But it has a really nice animated deco paint to it, nice blue highlights, has where his face would crease when it turns and smiles and all that kind of good stuff. Couple issues where the black would meet the flesh part, and you're not going to really notice it unless you're really looking, but just something I noticed. Couple seams on the bottom of the chin and such, but just because you're not going to be really looking at that, it doesn't matter, but it is there just as, a precaution, I guess, if you're really interested in. Then we have more of an angry Batman face, again, painted rather nicely, nice blue highlights, nothing wrong in that sense. It's a really cool head sculpt and gives it more of that Batman feel. One of my favorite accessories, of course, is how to kill the common cold. Alfred knows what's up. You get the chicken soup canister from Heart of Ice, and that's in and of itself so cool. It doesn't open or do anything like that. It's just a standard, but it's straight out of the cartoon, and I absolutely love it. Next up is like his rebreather played a large part in a lot of the different episodes, especially Vendetta and stuff. Either he's going swimming or there's gas or Scarecrow's attack, something like that. Spot on. Looks amazing. This is my favorite accessory. It's his grappling hook without the grapple shooting out, which we'll get to in just a second. I have been waiting for this since the Kenner days. This thing is spot freaking on, and I cannot believe that I finally have a Batman the Animated Series grappling hook. I have waited and waited. They just nailed it. And then, of course, you get one where the grappling hook is actually shooting out, and this thing is a really strong, taut, bendy wire. And you could do all kinds of crazy stuff with that. Have it shooting out, have his arm up, all that kind of stuff. I love it. This is a perfect accessory to this type of Batman figure. And the grappling hook is painted well. No qualms, nothing. Has a nice red button on the side, and as you can see, it's the same exact grappling hook as the one minus the wire, but it looks fantastic. You get kind of like a season 1 Batarang. That's actually really, really cool. Again, it plays a lot of different parts in a lot of different episodes. Then you also get the on leather wings. You get the tape recorder from when Batman is going through. And, you know, it's really, really detailed nice. You got all the buttons on the side. Everything looks great. It's spot on right out of the episode. And then, of course, you also have Batman's, like, no joke, is when he's spraying the infrared and all that kind of stuff. You get that, don't lose that, by the way. A little teeny tiny Batarang, and I think we saw this a couple times during the show. As you can see, it up to the season 1 Batarang. That's pretty cool. Next up is a slew of fists that you get, hands, all that kind of good stuff. Each one plays a different part in holding an accessory or weapon. I especially love the grappling hook hands. And you get right and left hands for each individual one. And then you get a really nice stand as well. Full color yellow Batman black symbol with a hook hanger that you can display, and it looks great. Batman DC logo all on the bottom, but the figure is the standout for this set. This is amazing. It's a total perfect representation of the Bruce Timm artwork from back in the day. This thing looks spot on to the cartoon. I'm so impressed by what I'm looking at. Everything is crisp and clean and everything else. This is one of those types of figures, however, I feel like you're going to get him into one pose and then you're going to kind of leave him on your display shelf. It's not something you really want to fidget around with too much, just because the joints are very stiff. But man, I love the back of the cape. I love that flat black mat that they going on with the figure and all that good stuff. But with the articulation, while he's articulates well, it's nice that they put all that added stuff in. As you can tell, like the head is on a ball joint, so that's really great. But it is very, very loose and it comes off easily, which I'll show in just a second. This side doesn't want to move like at all. This side, at least it goes up so I can show you. And he also has a double jointed elbow and wrist rotation and all that good stuff. What I'm trying to say is that you don't want to mess with it too much, because he feel like more he's like an art toy as opposed to an action figure, because he's so well made and well put together, and you have a lot of options for him and such. Like the ab crunch is there, but it doesn't really do much. Like you can see, you know, where the pins are and everything, that you can move him around, but he doesn't really do much, or at least mine is stuck. Legs are going to kick out only about that much and go back really not so much because of the cape. So it's really hindered in that sense. He's got a nice ankle pivot and all that kind of good stuff. But other than that, it's just, like I said, I call this a really, really nice, solid art toy. Something that is going to look elegant on your shelf, but don't think of it too much as a action figure that you want to like pose around and do all that kind of stuff. Might be something that might break easily. Now, switching out the hands is actually a cinch. The hands are nice and taut inside. You give them a little tug, pull it right out, and then pick the hand you want to switch it out with. We're going to go with the grappling hand on this one, and then go ahead and take the accessory of the grappling hook, finagle it through his fingers, and bingo bango. He actually holds it really, really nicely. You kind of display him, you know, pulling it out, doing something with it. The heads are a different sense. The heads, while they situate nice on the ball joint, they are a little bit hindered by the neck, and the neck is actually part of the cape. So the head, if you really, really have to kind of push it down and finagle it for the head to keep on. Otherwise, it situates nicely on the ball joint, but it's very, very loose and will fall out. Now, if you wanted to go a little bit more cape and cowl conspiracy, the weird thing about it, though, if you take the cape off of itself and you kind of wanted to just leave him capeless, you put the head on, head fits on perfectly. But he has no upper neck now, so it's just kind of like a floating head on a rather large, muscular, pecked body. So it's a little odd in that sense. It doesn't really work. So I recommend, unfortunately, just keeping the cape on, unless Mondo does some sort of, you know, maybe like a cowl or something later that they can sell individually. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the extra accessories pack. Now this was an additive to the standard Batman figure if you wanted to get them, and you get a bunch more extra show specific, but I'd say really cool additives to an otherwise great figure already. You get this giant open cape that fits on the Batman figure. Then you get a thumbs up. You get a really cool alternate Batarang goggles, and you get the Hardak head from his silicone soul. And to put the other cape on, it's simple. Just pop the head off, put it right on, and it looks really cool. Nice flowing cape. The only problem with it is dangles past the actual character's feet, so you're definitely going to need the stand. Now, I think this is kind of sort of from On Leather Wings if you wanted to go that route, and it looks really nice. It's just one of those things where he's incredibly back heavy now, so you definitely need the stand. The other scene that I think it's from is actually from Mask of the Phantasm. I think that's where actually this cape comes from. At least that's what I think. But the best accessory of all is the Hardak head. This is how I will be displaying this figure. It is my favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series. So much dichotomy with what it is to be human and do good. Total awesome Batman episode. If you haven't seen it, get out there and watch it. It's amazing. They did a spot-on job to this. The sculpt is amazing. The red eye, the little slots and pieces. Even it has that little subsection where he puts in the chip. It's so cool. And another specific show accurate accessory is the thumbs up from Batman during Be a Clown. It's when Jordan Hill gets kidnapped by the Joker and he's hugging his dad, and Batman's off in the corner just giving him the old, hey, good job. And then another one of the great accessories is his rebreather. This thing is so cool. Like I said, Scarecrow gas, all that good stuff. And then I specifically love this one. This one looks so cool on Batman. It's from On Leather Wings, and he starts looking at all the different clues that he needs to find. So that is pretty much going to do it for my look and review at the brand new Mondo 1/6 scale collectible figure Batman from the Batman the Animated Series cartoon. It's a great figure. It really is. I think the elements of the action figure are certainly there. It's just a lot of tight joints, a lot of stiff joints and such, and I really feel like if you put too much pressure and such, you might break them, but it doesn't detract from it being a beautiful figure. This is one of those, you get them into a different pose, maybe once a week, once a month, or something to that extent, and you can do really great things with it. So I recommend it in that sense, but overall, it's a fantastic looking figure from accessories to the sculpt to the paint. It's a pretty spot-on representation of the Bruce Timm artwork. If you like the review, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can find out when I post more videos just like this one. Huge and special shout out and thank you to Mondo for sending this over. I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting me check out this figure. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Make sure to hit me up on Instagram at ToyShiz or email me anytime. Let's talk toys, toyshiz@gmail.com. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you guys got some rad stuff from Santa, quote unquote. But I'll leave you with that. Drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, find some fantastic action figures like this Batman the Animated Series 1/6 scale figure. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.